Hello and welcome back to my channel. My name is David Novak. This is going to be the end of the year tag created by Ariel Bizet. I saw it yesterday done by Priscilla at the Evening Reader. And this tag has been going around. A lot of folks have done it already, and it's so close to the end of the year that it's probably not even appropriate for me to be doing it, but I enjoyed Priscilla's version of it so much. She said, consider yourself tagged, so I am considering myself tagged. I relay that on to you as well. It's a short tag, and people that have been watching all of my videos will not find any surprises here. There are 6 prompts plus the 7th to tag others, which I just did. Number 1, are there any books that you started this year that you need to finish? Well, this is going to come up as number 4 in a different way, so I will skip that one. Number 2, do you have an autumn book to transition into the end of the year? No, I do not. And we here in Chicago we have done the transitioning, although it's been raining, and in a former time, it would not be raining in December. So there's about 2 weeks left till the end of the year here. And there too, possibly, depending on when you're watching this. Priscilla had some issues about that as well. Number 3, is there a new release you're still waiting for? And no, there is not. I tend not to watch out for new releases. I don't read new releases. I was waiting for the new release by Morgan Talty because that is very interesting to me. I liked his Night of the Living Res, but it is out and I haven't picked it up. I will still keep my eyes out for it, but it's just one of those things I will have to come upon. Number 4, what are 3 books you want to read by the end of the year? So this is the same 3 books that you have started that you need to finish. Well, I don't need to finish, but I like to have a clean slate at the end of the year. I don't want to carry any books over. However, unfortunately, I will be carrying a book over. So the 3 books that I am currently reading, one is Dragon Carving and the Literary Mind. I'm reading about 2 chapters a day. They're fairly short, and so I should be done with this before Christmas. The other book that I am reading is Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, and I'm about a third of the way through. I am at page 110 in this Penguin edition. And when I finish that, I hope to be reading Shelley Fisher Fishkin's book, Was Huck Black? Covering up the question mark there. So it may happen, it may not, but I have determined that even were I to finish all of those books tomorrow, I would not begin another book, because earlier in the year I made a big to-do about how I wanted to read The Elements by Euclid, and I read the first chapter and then set it aside and never picked it up again. So, alas, I have one holdover for next year. I still consider myself to be in progress with this book. So, if I have any little window of time remaining me before the year turns over, it will have to be devoted to Euclid, unless I just devote it to a habitude of some sort. So, this television show, the music is like 100 times louder than the show itself. Oh, I didn't finish this, did I? So that was number 5. Is there a book you think could still shock you and become your favorite book of the year? No, I don't think so. I doubt that this could be it. I already know that this can't be it. And Huck Finn, it would be sort of miraculous for that to happen. And number 6, have you started making reading plans for next year? And I have already. So I did a sort of video about this, which was I want to read a couple of books about the Eastern and the Western Zhou dynasties, or civilization, I guess is how they say it. One is, this one even goes to the Qin. So regardless, I'm hoping to read these 2 big books for first quarter Historathon, and I may also actually precede that with this set of 3 lectures. I've shown those. And sometime next year, I am hoping to read Dream of Red Mansions, a famous Chinese novel, possibly for March of the Mammoths, but we will see. And to show you another big tome that I hope to be tackling next year. Before I go to sleep, I try to read, I had been doing about 30 minutes. In this case, I may do a number of pages. I'm not quite sure, but I want to read Parkman's History of France and England in North America. So that's my major goals for the coming year. Last year, I read Mark Twain, The Adventures of Tom Sawyer. It's a bit of a confusion in that Tom Sawyer gets a "the" before Adventures, and Huck Finn does not. People mistake that all the time. I don't really know how it can matter. The year before that, I read The Prince and the Pauper, and if I hold true to making the last book each year that I read something by Mark Twain, next year I may well go for A Connecticut Yankee in King Arthur's Court. The only other book by Twain immediately that I would like is his one about life on the Mississippi. But I have to say, when I read this 2 years ago, I was just stunned at how masterful it was. It's a work of sheer artistry. There's no imperfections. Same year, I read The Prisoner of Zenda, and that is a wonderful, marvelous adventure book, but I realized that this is head and shoulders above that, as well done as Prisoner of Zenda is. I mean, this is genuine art. And Tom Sawyer was a little bit of a step down, but it was still really good. It's very much iconic. And then where did I put Huck? Huck Finn, alas, is more than a step down. I've posted a couple of things about it on the community tab in YouTube. I've also done so on Facebook. So I'm a third of the way through, and the first 50 pages were pretty good. And so now I'm at 109. I finished 109, and it's been, I just can't believe how bad it is. It's just really poor. So at about page 50 is where the character of Jim comes in, and he is an escaped slave. And then Huck and Jim begin their adventures on the raft down the Mississippi. And it's just always in my mind that there they go off on their adventures, but the fact of being an escaped slave would mean a lot more to Jim, that I don't know that he would be so keen on these shilly-shally adventures. Huck Finn, the role of Huck Finn actually seems like the perfect vehicle for a young, what was his name, the actor? Macaulay Culkin. He did a movie called Home Alone. That's exactly what this setup reminds me of. Hemingway said, all modern American literature comes from one book by Mark Twain called Huckleberry Finn. Well, I would hope all literature did not come from this book, but certainly a lot of Hollywood movies have. There's some little white suburban boy going out having goofy adventures, and then you've got all these other people who think it's so important that this little white suburban boy have his adventures. It's really absurd. Beyond that, the plot is real creaky because he needs to get them down the river. I'm hoping that better things occur in the novel, but he has to just sort of supply them with adventures. And so they come across a shipwreck or something like that. I don't want to spoil it for you, but you've probably read this. And I can see Twain just reaching into his trick bag because he had something almost the equivalent in Tom Sawyer with Tom and I don't remember if it was Tom alone or Tom and Huck. It might have been the two of them in this abandoned house, and it's just an example of a writer who is too absolutely secure with his own craft at this point. And to my mind, this making of Jim into a character who is happy just to be a sidekick to Macaulay Culkin is sort of the equivalent, sort of a tacit equivalent to saying that, well, slavery wasn't all that bad. I know that Twain did not feel that, but that seems to be the objective here, at least in the 50 pages that I have read as they are going down the river. The fact is that every second, even if he were somehow within the territories of a free state, every second from his escape would be treacherous and perilous for Jim. And none of that is recognized at all in this book. So it seems like it does not deserve the title of classic. And I say that as a huge disappointment because Mark Twain is indubitably a great American author. So this is just unbelievable. And this is pretty darn good. And it was a bit of a shock to have to come across this. So I was a little bit anxious about not making this my last book and finishing off with Was Huck Black? But now I think it's probably best that this will not be my closure for the year. So I will hopefully, with any luck, finish with Was Huck Black? Thank you very much for stopping by my channel.